No bueno. I'm getting reports that the Janibek Hanalei fight is probably not going to go on adverse findings, failed a drug test. Look, before we jump to conclusions, I'll read what the findings said. We have to remember we just saw this happen with Subriel Matias. Matias had adverse findings. The fight with Dalton Smith was reportedly threatened to be canceled, but Matias administered his B sample and it came back clean. So sometimes these things happen. Let's wait, side on air of caution before we jump to conclusions because, like all of you guys watching this, I want to see this fight. I want to see Alam Hanalei versus Lara. Before we get into this, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers, guys. The channel's growing. Our Discord is growing. That link right there, pinned in the comment section. It's a couple bucks a month. Get access to our pro Discord. There's boxing, MMA, basketball, American football, hockey. It's a great community to be part of. Last week, we broke 300, and we're on the way to 400. So I say thank you, guys. I'm going to stay on for an hour. I'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up for today. It's 6:30 a.m. my time. Wednesday morning here in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to stay on for an hour today. Then in 2.5 hours, I'll be going live with Gary from 3D Boxing. I'll then be uploading my breakdown of Shock versus Cool Boy. And then I'll go live one more time today. So it's a busy day for me. It's a busy day for boxing. Let's get to the bottom of this. As you guys are tapping in, say what's up. Like this video. Hit subscribe. And I'm going to get into this Alam Hanalei news. Janibek Alam Hanalei fails PED test. Title unification versus Lara in doubt. The IBF and WBO world middleweight champion Janibek Alam Hanalei has delivered an adverse analytical finding for performance-enhancing drug meldonium following a VADA test, sources tell the Ring. We'll check out what meldonium is in a second. As such, the unified belt holder scheduled 3-belt unification versus Lara this Saturday on the Cruz Roach undercard is in serious jeopardy at the start of fight week. Meldonium has been banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency since 2016. A 2015 study noted that it demonstrates an increase in endurance performance of athletes, improved rehabilitation after exercise, protection against stress, and enhanced activations of central nervous system functioning. Wow. Per VADA's rules, Alam Hanalei has 10 days to request analysis of the B sample, which it seems he has moved forward with already. In response, sport, you know this well. I was surprised when I read the news. VADA took the first test and said everything was clean. I have not made any changes to my vitamins. I don't know what happened with the second test, so I requested a retest. Alam Hanalei, 17-0 with 12 knockouts, is the Ring's #1 rated boxer at 160 pounds and most recently defended his titles in Astana, Kazakhstan with a 5th-round stoppage win over 14-0 contender Anuel Ngamasenge April 5th. WBA title holder Lara, 31-3-3 with 19 knockouts, dropped out of the Ring's divisional rankings through inactivity and was preparing to end a 15-month layoff after beating Danny Garcia into submission 9 rounds into their September 2024 title fight. The sport's oldest male champion at 42, he could defend his WBA crown against a different opponent. End quotes. Meldonium. Guys, so like I said when I started this, I posted this in the Discord, and you read all the comments on social media, you're going to get people jumping to conclusions right off the jump. And rightfully so, man. It's boxing, MMA, combat sports, pro sports. Us as the fans, we have the right to be skeptical, especially when we get promised these big fights and, you know, in the last hour they get called off because of a tainted, a negative, a positive drug test. And we'll see what happens. I'm a bit salty if this fight doesn't go on because I was about to upload my breakdown of Janibek versus Lara on my Stats Don't Lie video series. And speaking on the Stats Don't Lie video series, guys, I uploaded 2 fights already. That's under the fight prediction playlist. Those are 10 to 15 minute videos, my breakdown, analysis, and predictions. We got an interesting fight in the UK, a British matchup that's taking place in Monte Carlo this weekend. It's a great fight. You could check that fight. That's on the playlist. And then I just uploaded Roach versus Pitbull as well. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Let me know how you make that news. What do you make of it? And I'm going to start, taking some of your questions and see what time it is. Moz B, at least they found it before, not after the fight. We'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean? All we could do is wait and we'll see what happens. Like I said, I always like to side with the fighter. I do. Maybe that's just the fighter in me. Things happen. People, false positives always come up. We know that. But I mean, over the last decade or so, we get tales of tainted meats. There was tainted meat, I think, in Germany or Russia when Lucas Brown became the first ever Australian heavyweight champion of the world. He goes over to Europe and then he comes back to Australia and got stripped because of tainted meat. We know about Canelo Alvarez with the tainted meat. We know about Conor Benn with the eggs. These things aren't new, especially in this modern era. And then also you mix in the fact of the supplementation, the GNC era, I call it. I grew up I graduated high school in 2000. And I always tell my buddies who are a little bit younger than me and clients that in 2000, I was a senior in high school. I played baseball, football, and basketball. All varsity started at that level. And first year of college, your coaches give you supplements at study tables in college. And even in senior year of high school, your coaches will give you supplements. Take this, drink this, take this, drink this, take this, drink this. And this was 25 years ago. We were the guinea pig generation of GNC supplementation stores. There were things when I was a 14-year-old in high school that were legal. Andronostine was legal. You could go to GNC and buy andronostine over the counter, and it was legal. And it ended up becoming the thing that Mark McGuire was taking, Andro, that now is super illegal. So fast forward 25 years, the sort of administration process of it is similar to what I just said. You'd expect Janibek and world champions will have their team, their nutritionists, take this, take this, take this, take this. And the fighter is in fight camp. The fighter is trying to cut weight. The fighter is trying to get his rounds in. He's just, he's not really, I wonder what the protocol is on the fighter side of things with making sure or ticking boxes or just being sort of precise on the fact of the auditing process. You just got to trust your team. We'll see what happens. We've seen it before. Supplements come back tainted as well. A lot of times these products that they're taking over the counter, mass marketed products, are made in the same vat of other sort of supplements. And we know that updated VADA list, that updated WADA list, the banned substance list is always being sort of added to. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. I'd like to think that Janibek Elamhanale isn't cheating. So we'll see. Mike from Melbourne, looking forward to a great weekend UFC. Yep. Well, I'm going to do a UFC live stream tomorrow. Jai under 1-6, prop of the week. PJ, what's crack-a-lackin', player? Little showtime. Your money mooch. You guys are tapping in. After I say what's ups, I'm going to transfer back to that sports, the odds. Red, let's see how this plays out, but this fight was the one I wanted to see the most. Same. Alexis Arguello in the house. Red 78-9, 8-7, one of my favorite fights. It was back in the 15-rounder days. Arguello was a seasoned, grizzled veteran, 70 pro fights, and he fought a 20-year-old from my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio, and Arguello stopped him in the 14th. There goes Crawford's two-fight path to undisputed. Just let's push the brakes a bit, Havelock. Dan Raphael, the fight is already canceled. Janibek likely to be stripped. Johan Gonzalez is the probable replacement. Breaking news. Who's a good middleweight journeyman name that can fill in for Janibek? I was hearing Elijah Garcia, but he's by no means a journeyman. He's a young up-and-comer. Derevyanchenko. Nobody wants to fight Derevyanchenko, man. Nobody's putting their hand up to fight him. How you catch and shoot? Catch and shoot, Pud. Hey, was I late today, homie? You reading my what's the hashtag saying today, big dog? Janibek really messed up his spotlight after wanting that spotlight for so long. We'll see what happens. Hey. Way. Hey. So it's official. Johan Gonzalez is official. Let's see. Chelo Manotas. Well, that doesn't seem right, considering he's suspended. Probably suspended by NYC. Yeah, I don't know if that's official, Playboy. He doesn't look like he's in good nick. Here we go. Here we go. Unified middleweight champion Janibek Alamanale has tested positive for banned substance and has been pulled from Saturday's scheduled unification fight with WBA champ Arislandi Lara, who will now defend against Johan Gonzalez. There it is. There it is. The Johan Gonzalez is the replacement. Johan Gonzalez is the replacement. Might as well have one more look at who he's fighting. Well, at least Lara is still fighting. I mean, he hasn't fought in over a year, so shout out to Johan for stepping up. The Chelo Manotas. Chelo Manotas, 34 knockouts out of 36 wins. He's ranked 107 out of 1,934 fighters in the world at middleweight. Let's see who he got stopped by. He lost to Yenis Tellez, Jesus Ramos, Magomed Kurbanov. Kurbanov, if you remember, is the guy that Israel Madrimov beats for his WBA strap. And then Charlie Navarro. I mean, what are his best wins as of late? Viaba. He beat Guido Schramm. He beat Jared Hurd. When was this fight, though? Do you get? It was on the Tank Roach. So he just fought. That fight, I remember. Okay, we covered Johan. This fight was not that exciting. Yeah. We're going to get to the odds in a second, boys. Clay Moraine, appreciate you. Salute. Guys, join the Discord. Click the link that's pinned in the comment section. We're going to get to the most updated odds. Cigar was crack-a-lacking. Gonzalez is all right. Yeah. Will he win? God damn it. Man, I'm a bit salty, boys. I wanted to see that fight. We still got some good fights on the card. It was almost like it was too good. It was too good. Yo, even though the Lara Janibek fight is off, we still good. The box spots still good. All right. And look at the books baiting us tomorrow. I'm not doing it, guys. I'm not. All you boys in the Discord, you're going to be pressuring me. You're going to be pressing me to break. I'm not doing it. There's fights tomorrow. Of course there's fights tomorrow. Wednesday night fights in America. Thamanoon Niamthrong taking on Junior Leandro Zarate. And you guys are going to freaking ask me for my opinion on this fight. I know you guys. Savages. Just putting my hand up, having to... I don't want to do it. I almost got burned out after last week and the week before. I'm not touching that goddamn fight. I'm just letting you boys know right goddamn now. No one's talking to me about it. Don't ask me about Zarate versus Niam Trong. Don't ask me if you're going to watch the fight. I'm focusing on the weekend. Yeah, this is the Aussie card. I'm going to talk Mervin. What's up, Mervin Albano? 6153. We out here. Johnny, do you think Jake Wiley? No, I don't. This is my upset of the week. This is my upset of the week. I'm taking Paul Fleming against Wiley. I'm about 98% sure I'm taking Fleming against Wiley. I'm waiting for my guy who is in fight camp in Australia. He's an amateur. I'm waiting for him to get back to me. He sparred with Wiley a month ago. And I'm waiting for my other guy to get back to me who's friends with Paul. If Paul is 80% of what he was against Charlie, he should dog walk Wiley. Paul Fleming is at Paul's best, he's world class. And he's 37. Yes, Bud Crawford's 37. Look at Usyk. Look at Lara. So I don't want to talk about that age. If Fleming is 80% of what he should be, he beats Wiley. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't know about Paul Fleming, he was up on all the cards. I want to fact check. I'm going to go on Gary's live today, and I'm going to bring this up. And this is just because I was at the fight. Fleming versus Suarez. Fleming was up on all of the cards. It's not like he fought Charlie well. He was beating Charlie Suarez on all the cards, and he got stopped late because he ran out. He ran out of gas. And, we know how good Charlie Suarez is. That was a battle of two Olympians, dude. Charlie Suarez, talk about the corruption of politics. Suarez, the odd man out after that Navarrete debacle. Thank God we got that as a stoppage because we took Navarrete. We up. But when you rewatch that was an elbow. Elbow. Was it the elbow or headbutt? It was an elbow. It wasn't a punch. Anyway, that's Fleming. Fleming, that fight should haunt him. Since then, he hasn't been active. He had one exhibition fight against Billy Dibb just a couple months ago to kind of move around a bit. Then he got this fight. This gives Paul the perfect opportunity to take that matchroom momentum Jake has and remind the Turkey Al-Sheikh new era boxing fan about who Paul Fleming is. Paul Fleming is a really good fighter. Watch his tape. I like Ben Mahoney here. I like Paul Fleming here. Paul's my dog of the week. Plus 225. I already gave that to the Discordians. Jason Maloney's on my no bet list. Taramona, until he fights somebody that's maybe a 5-1. I'm not betting on him. He's going to win by knockout. Jaya Pataya, I have him. Here's my bet on him. You guys are getting all the game. This might sound a little bit fortuitous, but I like this prop. Okay. If I want to be super judicial about it, conservative, safe, Jaya Pataya to win rounds 1 through 6. I know some of you guys use this word LOCK. I don't. I'll use the word safe. I think 1 through 6 is kind of like, let's go. You get 51% return of your bet. If you want to add a little bit sauce, that 1-4, let's go. What are we talking about? 1-4. I really like Jai 1-4. It just depends on how greedy you want to get. Y'all motherfuckers is greedy too, so. Mom, if you're listening, I apologize. It's early. I get a little bit loopy in the mornings. Sorry for the F-bombs. I'll do better. And it's the holiday season. I'll be better, moms. But yeah, that's the Jai fight. So, I mean, when you're looking at Jai here, from $1.02 to either $1.51 or even that 220. That's pretty free. That's the move if you're betting on Jai. You have to go that route. Sean McComb does he fight? Did McComb's fight get canceled, or are we just in a vacuum? I could have swore I just broke down Sean McComb. Didn't he just fight? Am I tripping? Ben Crocker, he did just fight. Yeah, he won us some money. He just fought Ben Crocker like 8 weeks ago. Beatrice Ferreira, it's a decent scrap. Elif Turhan. Johnny Fisher on my no bet list. Guys, I'm standing strong. I don't know how strong you guys are going to be, but I'm standing strong on my no bet list. Johnny Fisher has been on my no bet list. Both figure if Omar ever decides to fight again, obviously if Brandon ever decides to fight again, no bet list. It's why I didn't break down the domestic heavyweight Brits. You guys were betting on Fraser Clark and TKV. We don't do all that. I don't be guys. I should also mention, if I add a fighter to the long parlay that you guys ask for, them long joints, them 15 to 20 legger joints, that's a long parlay, okay? When I say on my no bet list, I mean taking 5 to 6 hours out of my day to do a Stats No Lie video. So the breakdown videos, that's my bet list, right? You know, so it's why you didn't get a TKV and Fraser Clark. I'm not betting on that shit, dude. So back to this. Okay, Johnny Walker once again. I did a Stats Don't Lie on the Johnny Walker, his last fight, or Johnny Fisher last fight. Never again. I'll watch him. I'll throw him on a parlay, but I'm not giving him 6 hours of my time. Okay, this is the fight. These odds. Look at these odds. These odds are crazy. I got Pat McCormick at $1.40. What the hell happened? This is freaking insane. These odds. Borderline disrespectful. Like my Stats Don't Lie video, I've taken Pat McCormick. I think he's the better boxer. He has the better skill set, sharper. But Conor Walker's tough as nails, dude. Conor Walker's the British champion here. Almost a 6-1 dog is super disrespectful. This is kind of giving me vibes of like Elber Badargaziev and Jazza Dickens a little bit. If you know the history of these guys, in terms of one having, not a lot of fights due to his Olympic pedigree, the other one taking the pro route, the odds. Freaking Frankie Rod versus Galalia Fai. Same exact sort of thing. So what I'm saying is Pat should win, but those odds are freaking... How did those odds tank like that? That is insane, dude. I just posted this less than 16 hours ago, and I got Pat at $1.43. I'm gonna pull up the video. This is shocking. I wouldn't be putting any sort of energy into this if I didn't think this was crazy. Did somebody just... What did a bunch of blokes just put like 100K on McCormick? Yeah, I don't like how much Conor Walker gets hit, by the way. Okay. No, I guess it's always... Damn it. I guess those odds... Are those odds off for you guys or what? What's your method of victory, Walker versus McCormick? Shit, I have to pick one now. So for the sake of my video, I gave you the winner, McCormick, but if I have to pick a method of victory... I mean, we're not fucking writing a letter to our mom about $1.13 winnings, right? So Kona's never been stopped, though. So maybe an over? Maybe an over? I don't know, man. Give me some time on it. I'll get back to you. I think Lara at minus 500 was disrespectful to him, considering he's never been stopped. Never been stopped, yeah. But that, that just shows you how much they respected Alam Hanalei. All right. if we're gonna take, since we're there, I'm gonna keep. Let's keep going down the ladder with this. This is fun. Maloney, no bet list. Chai talked about it. Johnny Fisher, no bet list. Okay, this is a fight. I'm uploading my. I'm gonna do this instead of. Well, I already did the Lara and Alam Hunalay video, so I'm gonna do Shabazz Masood versus Peter McGrill. Dude, Peter McGrill. This is a good fight too, man. I'll get back to you guys on this fight, but this is tempting. 2-1 dog here is tempting. Lucero. This is a fun fight. Didn't we watch Lucero on Pro Box? Or was he always with, was he top rank? (18-1, 13 knockouts. He stopped Omar Valenzuela. Top rank. He was on that Caleb Plant Resendez card. PBC. Frank Martin versus Rancis Barthélemy. Interesting fight. We haven't seen Frank since. Have we not seen Frank since Tank? That's ridiculous. When Tank Davis is more active than you, you know you need to figure some stuff out. We haven't seen Frank Martin since Tank Davis. He did have a fight or so fall through though, so fair play to him. I like Frank Martin. It's wild how like he's one of those fighters that fans sort of flock to. You know what I mean? Frank Martin, you don't see a lot of guys like that. You know, not really a long career, wasn't really a storied amateur, doesn't really have like a major backing. But like you go to a social media, every time fights are announced, people get excited to watch the Ghost fight. He's one of those guys. I watch when he fights. All right, this is one that I like. I love a prop here. Let's see what this is paying. There's a couple I like here. Will the fight go the distance? I don't think it goes the distance. I think Shane Mosley is a little bit brave for his boots, and I think Jesus could crack. I'm expecting Jesus to look really sort of rejuvenated at 160 as well. He's taken some time off. He should be 100%. He should be more filled out, less drained. I expect the monster that was at 54. I expect Ramos to be that at 60. So I like, will the fight go the distance? No, but I also like Ramos in this fight. Yeah, I love that 174. That 174 is screaming like the Josh Kelly versus Flavio Bea vibes when we were getting those odds. And then we got Josh's in the first round. I'm not saying Ramos is going to beat Mosley in the first round, but 174 to win by stoppage against Mosley Jr. I really like that. I think we got Josh at 185. This is another one. I'm probably going to be debating some of the boys about this fight. Like, if we're talking about the eye test, if we're talking about, comparing boxers, a skill set, a bag, even the psychology of the whole damn thing, I like Shock here. I've liked Shock since this fight got announced, actually. I like Shock on points. 250? I mean, Jesus. Look at that. 250? And if you really want to play the safe route, will the fight go the distance? $1.28. So it's either going to come down to you throw this on a parlay to juice up a parlay at $1.28, or you go heavy on maybe a two-leg. I could see these fights, guys. I could see Shock going the distance. I could see Roach going the distance. I could see those two fights ending watching 24 rounds of boxing. I could see Ramos winning before the final bell. I have to really rewatch Johan Gonzalez and Lara, considering that's that late boy. I could see Kona Walker and McCormick going the distance. I think we're going to see a lot of boxing this weekend in terms of fights going the distance. And here we go. You guys know how I feel about this. Hugo Mikhailov, we may have another $7 dog. Monaco kid beat Tiger in the Amis. I'll check him out. I don't know much about him. But here we go. The Amis stuff is tough to do boxing mats though, boys, because we know that Sean Porter beat Usyk in the Amis. You know what I'm saying? So I'll check Hugo out. But if he beat Tiger in the Amis, Sean Porter beat Usyk in the Amis. Did he beat him or did he just fight him? Now I'm Sean Porter. I know they fought versus Usyk. Who won? Yeah. Sean Porter beat Usyk in the Emmys. That's freaking ridiculous. I love stories like that. That's why you got to love boxing. Here's a little, if you didn't know, I'm sure a lot of the boxing heads on my channel have known this, but some of you guys might be new to the game. This is a good little did you know fun fact when you guys are passing the whatever you guys drinking high tea with your boys or playing dominoes or smoking joints or blunts or passing on that Henny or just having like a deep educated philosophical chat about existentialism. You could drop this fun fact. Did you know Sean Porter beat Usyk in the Emmys? Where Porter from? Where Porter from? Where Porter from? Northeast Ohio, baby. Still good. I don't like Sean McCombs fought his last fight, so Hugo could possibly win. Let's check that out, boys. Hey, we got some action on it. I respect the hustle. They love Eddie. Eddie. Hugo's the A side here. That hometown boy. Let's pull it up. Pull it up. Hugo McKellen. So you see the eyes. You see that. You heard that. Let's check his box rec. 27 years old. $11 and 0, 3 knockouts. Y'all smoking weed? Nah. Y'all smoking weed. He ain't beating Sean McComb. Well, who's he fought? What are we doing? I'm gonna watch his tape, but off jump, this kid ain't beating Sean McComb. There ain't no 6-1 dog. I don't think the dog is live here. 20 and 2. Nah. I mean, Sean's been in there with some dogs, man. Been in, coming off that Crocker win, Arnold Barboza Jr. I don't know. Let me watch the tape. Let me give you guys the respect and the due diligence that y'all motherfuckers deserve. I've been listening to a lot of 90s hip hop lately, and I've been swearing a lot, so I apologize. I'm going to readjust my playlist and get back to Christmas music, recenter myself, and stop dropping so many F-bombs, because it's not classy. I get it. It's not. What are we doing out here, right? But you guys think that Hugo's a live dog here. Interesting. Hugo McKelliff has a weak chin. think this is more far-fetched than last week's Mikey Lead Dog that almost, what do they say about almost, Boxing Booth? Boxing Booth? Boxing Booth, what do they say about almosts? Horseshoes and hand grenades. Almost in boxing don't mean a thing. Hugo McCallie has a weak chin. Yeah, I ain't gonna say yeah, I'm probably not betting on Hugo McCallie versus McComb. I still think McComb versus Barbosa, biggest robbery. Yeah, ABJ had a couple close ones. Was it okay? I think it was close. It was close. I'm a Barbosa fan. I like his style. I like that style. If only Barbosa could punch as hard as he thinks he could punch. You know, we were breaking down somebody 2 weeks ago. Oh, we were breaking down somebody. He was on, it might have been Sam Noakes. It might have been on the Sam Noakes Abdullah Mason card. And one of the points that I came up with that came out to be true, I said that the reason why I'm going against this kid is because he thinks he punches harder than he actually does. If only this kid actually punched as hard as he thinks he punches, he'd have a shot. I was like, I think he's gonna get stopped. Oh, it was it was the kid that Bam stopped. Puma. It was the same exact thing. If Arnold Barbosa, with all that skills with the skills he has and his boxing acumen, if he punched as hard as he thinks he punches, man, that kid would be really tough to beat. Really, really tough to beat. Teo over Shakur. I mean, when these odds drop, I'm gonna put my house. I'm gonna put everything I've worked for on Shakur Stevenson. It wasn't close. Basically, won every round. He did get dropped by Crocker, one of the worst decisions. Yeah. Eddie. Cue the royal music. If you guys grew up in the 90s watching WWF wrestling, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Triple H, before he was Triple H, he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and his walkout song was Ode to Joy. And he would do this one. So they love Eddie. Because you're right. Puma. That's exactly who I was talking about. Who's the dog? The dog of the week's PJ, baby. PJ is the dog of the week. Let's continue on our journey here real quick, gentlemen. PJ, to answer your question, I'm torn. There's two, I think. This is my dog of the week, Paul Fleming, but you don't have to listen to me. Paul Fleming is Johnny Stofko's dog of the week, and I'll show you why. If you guys, I know he's 37. Before you guys say it, I'm only pulling up this to show you something. So he's a Aboriginal Aussie, freaking Olympian, 37 now. He fought, his only loss was to Charlie Suarez the last time he fought. He was winning the fight, though. It's one of those heartbreakers. When the fight got stopped in the 12th, Paulie was up 106, 103, 107, 102, 108, 101. Suarez miraculously came from behind and stopped him. It's because, Fleming, by his own words, he mishandled his gas tank. He gassed out there. We know how tough Suarez. This is what I've been saying all week, boys. If Paul Fleming is 80% of what he was against Suarez, he handles Jake Wiley easily. Paul Fleming is a really slick boxer. 5'9" southpaw. Even the win against Jackson England. Jackson England has a win over Jamel Herring. Jackson England's ranked in the top 15 at 130. Shout out to my boy Jackson John England, the prettiest cat in boxing. Pause. See, we used to say no homo. See, I think pause might be better than saying no homo. because just insinuating the word homo into that insinuation kind of plants a seed. So I guess I was suspicious on using the word pause initially because you young bucks use it. But now in that instance, you could give a compliment to your boy and not have to say no homo. You could just say pause. I think. Did I do that right or no? Did I do that right or no? Okay, boys, I want to show you something too. Oh, these are just slow motion. So what Paul is, he's a tall, rangy, very slick southpaw who if you've never seen Paul Fleming fight, you guys are going to be impressed. You're going to be impressed, man. You're going to be impressed with his skill, how smooth he is, how slick he is, his speed, his timing. And this is why, man, I love when I heard he was coming back, I was excited because the kid is a dog and he's super skilled and he deserves to be internationally recognized. The kid fought his entire career. We know there's not a lot of money in Australia boxing, and this gives him the opportunity to take Jake Wiley's hype, rightfully so. And with a few years left, 37, this is now or never for him. You give me Paul Fleming at plus 225, baby boy, we out here. I want you doing your own homework, though. Don't just take it because I'm telling you.
A lot of things. I don't want to turn it too morbid or too divisive. I'm not trying to be divisive whatsoever, but there's a lot of atrocities and a lot of things that went on that had to happen for us to even still be here and have the rights that we have.
Do you hear the didgeridoo in the background? That I love that. It's a indigenous instrument. It's the one that sounds. So he's a very proud, very he's talking about indigenous Australians. Listen to the instrument.
Their culture, themselves, or gives them a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
The didgeridoo is dope. He was talking. He's not making excuses, mate. He was talking about the atrocities of the Aboriginal culture, bro. PJ, guys, just so you don't get too shady at PJ, he is a comic, so his job is to stir the pot. Okay, this is how he looked at. This was an exhibition. See, this is an exhibition, though. They're just sparring. That's Billy Dibb, former world champion. This was Paul Fleming and Billy kind of like selling tables a couple months ago, doing an exhibition. They're just standing and training. They're just tapping. And Billy overcame cancer. I do. I do like him after 2 years, 100%. I think Jake Wiley's tailor made for him, to be honest with you. But do your own homework. You ask me, I tell you who's my dog of the week. Showtime. Paul Fleming. All right, let's check out. All right, clear these. Is that what we got? Okay, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. We're 45 minutes in. Let me know what you guys are thinking. He is old. No, he's not young, dude. He's 37. I actually like it when an older fighter lets his body rest. Yeah, I mean, how Bud Crawford's old? If you're saying that Paul's younger than Crawford, Paul's younger than Usyk, Paul's younger than Lara. So I mean, Paul is actually younger than Bilal Fawaz. So yeah, let's have a look, brother. Okay, Myron Santos is a really, really fun prospect. I really like Santos here. The odds aren't that impressive, but I watched Myron Santos when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, and just watching him from the reality show to like, dude, his kicks, his aggression, his size for the division. Myron Santos, people don't really talk about him, but Jesus, he's a fun prospect. So I like Santos here. I mean, if he has another like, he's bordering on contender. Mansour Abdulmalik. This is an interesting fight. So I remember interviewing Edson Barbosa in 2017. And in 2017, Barbosa, I asked him about like, I think he had just turned 30 in 2017. He's still fighting. Why I'm hesitant on Jalen, and Jalen's a fun fighter. He retired after his last loss. Took his gloves off, put him in the octagon. And that's an emotional moment. It's a very psychological moment as well when a fighter does that. It always makes me question, if you already retired once mentally, when the going gets tough in the octagon, you know what it's like to retire. So I'm not going to bet this fight. I'm excited about it though. It's a fun matchup. I'm not going to bet that fight. Marvin Vettori is on my no bet list. Macy Barber, no bet list. This is a fun fight. If Terrence, I call Terrence McKinney the parlay killer, though. Terrence McKinney is a guy that if you bet on Terrence McKinney 100 times, you will win 50 and lose 50. So all that being said, Terrence McKinney, congratulations. You're on my no bet list. Super fun fighter, though. And Chris Duncan, I think he's a Scot. That's a firefight. So maybe the fight not to go the distance is the move there. All right, this is my upset of the week in the UFC. I love Manny Torres here. Love Manny Torres. Love his aggression. We've seen Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson is going to be known for his grappling, his wrestling, his top pressure, his control once he gets you on the ground. I think Manny Torres is live here, bro. And, maybe I am a little bit sort of, what's the word? I kind of tend to favor the strikers. That's no secret. But watch your tape. I like Manny here. I'm not probably going to add this all on one parlay. I'll probably go heavy on Manny by himself as a one-off and build a parlay over Myron Santos. I'm just doing this to kind of put them in the bucket. John Blachowicz on my no bet list. All right, this is an interesting one. Cejudo and Talbot. You know what I mean? Like, if Cejudo is 70% of himself, he should be able to handle the kid from Reno. And no shade on Peyton Talbot. I'm just not a believer. Peyton, I'm gonna wait for the chat to say something. Who does Peyton Talbot date, guys? Who does Peyton? Who is his partner? I'm staying away from this fight. I'm staying away from that fight. Yeah, he dates a bloke. He dates Frank Ocean. I'm not betting that fight. Brandon Moreno versus Tyara. Yo, what? This is crazy. The odds makers, man, they love themselves some Japanese prospect contenders overhyping you out here. Wild, you think I'm taking you? That is insane, dude. I did not know Moreno was a dog here. That's crazy, bro. I like Moreno on the money line here. Moreno, I like Brandon on the money line. So there it is. I'll lock those in later in the week, and I'll put them up in the Discord. You know, we just out here having fun. But yeah. You know why? Because PJ, I've been watching UFC since the very first fight, November 11th, 1993. I've watched every single UFC fight. I watch every regional fight. I know these fighters. I've seen them burn my parlays before. Not every UFC fighter's on my no bet list, but over time, when your parlays get burned time and time again by a guy either running out of gas or having a low fight IQ or standing and trading and getting knocked out, you create a no bet list. Yo. Moreno and Santos. Let's go, dude. I like Manny Torres too, but Manny is a little bit. You know what? I'm taking Santos, Torres, and Moreno. Do you think? Do you think I favor the Latin fighter here? Well, Santos is from Brazil. I think Manny Torres is from Mexico, and Moreno is from Mexico. But I do, man. Their cardio, their gas tank, their engine, their fighting spirit. I'm shocked that Brandon Moreno's a dog in that fight. I don't know if I'm missing something. Jan on my no bet list, brother. I'll show you why. You want me to bring it up? I'll show you why. Oh, mama. Mama. This is why. This is why. This is why he's on my no motherfucking bet list. 5 years ago, he wasn't. But now he is. Look at his record, mate. Since 2021. So since 2021, he is 1-3-1 in the last 5 years. If you have a fighter who's 1-3-1 in the last 5 years, guess what he's on? He's on your no bet list. No bet list. No bet list. I didn't get odds for that. My book wasn't showing that, the Marab versus Jan fight. We'll see. Did you? I showed you the book. They didn't show me it. You see? My book goes straight from my book jumps from Moreno to Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen. Good fighter, but Jesus Christ, dude. That dude has a grill only his mother would love. Pause. It's fun saying pause, by the way. It's good to learn new things. Why am I? You don't see it, right? It's not on there. Ah, they put them in their own little category. Oh man, it's really, 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 really hard to bet against Pantoja. And the most money I've won in the last year in the UFC was betting against Joshua Van. When my boy Charles Johnson stopped him, boy, playing with me. Energy. The pride of St. Louis. Get off me, boy. I told all you boys Charles Johnson was going to stop Joshua Van. This should be Charles Johnson's fight, by the way. The most disrespected, underappreciated fighter in the UFC is CJ. Energy. Dog. Broke Josh Van. But I'm a big Josh Van fan now. Big Josh Van fan now. Great boxing, great hands, young. He's being mentored now by my boy Onglan San. Both boys are Burmese from Myanmar. It's really hard to bet against Pantoja. I would sprinkle on Van. I would, but I would put it on the standalone. I like Josh Van's boxing. I like his takedown defense. I like his hips. The thing about Pantoja, though, once he gets here back, it is a wrap, dude. It is a wrap. I could see Pantoja just climbing that back and just tapping Van early days. So I don't know, man. That's a tough fight. It's a fun fight. I'm definitely tuning in. I'm a big fan of both guys. I remember watching Alexandre Pantoja like a decade ago. Like this kid is a dog, dude. So good. He's one of those guys that you follow, and when they become a world champion, you're excited for. And Josh is only what, 21, 22 years old. You know, it might be a little bit too much too soon in terms of the bag. Seeing a bag like Pantoja's bag is hot. It doesn't get much better than that. You know what I mean? Because Alex will crack with you too. And he got a chin. That dude will stand with you. And he got a chin. So, you know, I think Josh's chances are obvious. His only chance, his only route is on the feet. And to bait Pantoja into punching with him, and then Pantoja underestimating Josh's power and the chin getting checked. I could see that happening too, though. It's the UFC. This is Van's moment. This is he could become a star here. And you know, it's really exciting. It's a really exciting fight. I'm a fan of both guys. Now this fight, Marab Dvalishvili, or one of the hardest names to pronounce, Marab Dvalishvili versus Peter Yan. If Marab wasn't up in that camp with, you know, Aljamain and the boys up making pizza, I wouldn't like him, but I like Marab. Marab is, dude, the machine is a goddamn monster. Peter Yan, talk about a guy who, Peter Yan's fall off. I mean, I'm talking about when he was the champion. People were talking about Peter Yan with this invincibility factor. Do you guys remember when he was, dude, he's a Tiger Muay Thai guy training in Thailand. His boxing's off the hook. His Muay Thai is off the hook. And, you know, he's a handful of decision losses. But he worked his way back up. He fought his way through, and he's fighting for another world title. He's an underdog for a reason. He's an underdog for a reason. Is Derek Lewis fighting? How did I miss that? How did I miss that? What's he always say? Houston out this hoe. I tune into Derek Lewis's fights just to watch him get the microphone. Where Ronda Rousey fine ass at? Where Texas out this hoe? That's my favorite quote of all time. Texas out this hoe. Derek Lewis, like in a different dimension, I'd get the tattoo. If I was a Texas guy, I'm an Ohio guy. We beat the shit out of Texas in every sport. No offense. But Buckeyes, by the way, not the Browns, Ohio State Buckeyes. If I was a Texas guy, I would get the tattoo. Texas out this hoe. Where is it at? Is it off? Maybe this is my